Yo, what's good? It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Yo, LeBron James is not retiring. I want to dive into that in this video. If you enjoy it, smash that like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Yo, let me just be clear. Look, nobody puts up 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists a game, shooting 50% from the field, and retires. If you have any player in the NBA right now putting up those numbers, we are immediately looking at them as a superstar who should be on their way for a championship. And what this should communicate to everyone is that LeBron James also knows he is still primed for a championship. But one thing that I will say he is probably considering, and this is because I think it's easier for me to relate, maybe because I'm literally the same age as LeBron James. I've had an ankle injury before. Really bad, actually. I had the Gordon Hayward injury. Right? And let me just say that pain and injuries make you think about things. Especially when you know that you're going into an off season where you're going to have to take care of that injury, where you're playing through pain and you're dealing with managing pain on an ongoing, consistent basis. It is something that gives you pause. But here's the thing. One thing also I think I also share with LeBron is that there's a love and passion for the game. It's hard to not be on that court and hear that ball drop, hear the sound of the net swishing, put the ball through your legs, behind your back, spin, even if it's just for play, tossing up off of 1 foot, 2 feet, shooting a free throw, a layup, jump stop, passing the ball. There's something just beautiful about the game of basketball. And it's not something that you just walk away from, especially when you're still at the prime and the peak of your powers. I'm not saying he's in his literal prime, but when you look at the great players in the NBA right now, he is still prime. Let me say that again. He may not be in his prime, but when you compare what he is doing to other great players in the NBA, he is still prime. He is still producing as if he is in the prime of an NBA career. Now, this is the thing. This is one thing I do love about LeBron James, is that he's calculated. He's very intentional. And what I believe he was doing was he was applying that pressure. That Ari Lennox, that pressure, applying it because he want to make sure that they feel him. He wants to make sure that Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers know he does not have to do this season after season after season. He does not have to sacrifice his body in the way that he has, especially this past season, especially considering the past few seasons where they failed to put a formidable roster around him. Yeah, they got him a running mate, but he kind of did that himself. He kind of walked them into that Anthony Davis deal that brought them already one championship. But what they failed to do was ensure that 3 through 6 was just as formidable. And that is where LeBron James has a valid gripe with the Los Angeles Lakers. That 1 and 2, okay, we brought in the guy. You guys, did the paperwork, signed on the dotted line and all that. But we did a lot of that legwork. We being his agent, his agency, his friendship, developing that friendship with Anthony Davis, and then bringing him in. He did that. And then he gave them the responsibility of filling out 3 through 6. And when I say 3 through 6, because most of the time in the playoffs, your rotation is really 1 to 7. Really in tight games, 1 to 6. All right. But he's saying, I want to make sure that you guys put a solid, a formidable 3 through 6 around us. Because when you look at this playoff series, that's where they lost. They didn't lose because of 1 and 2. Despite being hampered, playing on one leg, I think it's already come out that LeBron James is likely going to have surgery on that foot. I think that we all knew after the All-Star break, right? But he came back anyways, managed the pain, and put up amazing, amazing numbers in these playoffs. Brought them to the Western Conference Finals, and it wasn't 1 and 2 that didn't show up. I would say maybe 3 and 4, Austin Reeves and Dennis Schroeder and maybe Rui Hachimura. They had moments, and they were solid enough, but they weren't guys who were ready to be what they needed to be at that moment. They weren't doing what they were doing because they've been there before. Maybe Dennis Schroeder a little bit, but Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, they were guys that showed up, and that was beautiful to see. But that wasn't necessarily in the works. Rob Pelinka, do not believe for a moment, did not bring those guys in and said, they're going to be big time for us in the Western Conference Finals. That's some BS if you believe that. Because the reality is they just got there. Those guys had never been in the playoffs with major minutes depended upon to show up and perform and make adjustments and understand how the other team is going to try to adjust to them and how they're going to navigate that. No, they were playing with house money. There was very little expectation. They were along for the ride. And so LeBron is saying, if I'm going to go into another season, you better make sure that you put together this roster in a way that they aren't just along for the ride, that they're stepping up and taking a lot of that pressure off of me, because he could not depend upon them in those moments where he needed to. That game 4, to avoid that sweep, and he's putting in an all-time great performance. He didn't look around and go, oh, I got Austin Reeves, I got Rui Hachimura. And Anthony Davis, well, we know what Anthony Davis was, but, his main impact was on the defensive end, and we all know that's going to be his bread and butter. That's why he's the all-time great. All right? The offense is a great plus when he can bring it. When he doesn't, that hurt too, but he needed to look at 3 through 6. And those guys weren't ready. D'Lo was unplayable. Right? There were guys that were not ready. And yet they did their best. And it is commendable that they did their best. And we appreciate that. But LeBron is not here, as he said, for Western Conference Finals runs. He's not here just to make the playoffs. He's not here just to put up stats anymore. He's here for championships. Quote for quote. That's what he's here for. And he's saying, y'all need to feel this pressure. Yeah, bring back Rui for sure. Bring back Austin Reeves, definitely. Dennis Schroeder, I can see it. Solid. Jared Vanderbilt, I think he's still under contract, so we can go ahead and mess with him. Mo Bamba, we still want to see what he can do. But I need you to bring in some dudes that I know what they can do. That they know what they can do. Because they've been here before. They've been tested. They're ready for a run. They're ready for what I'm ready for. Prime time. 28 points a game. 8 rebounds. 5 assists. 50% from the field. Dropping 40% in the closeout game. 40 points in the closeout game. Damn near 40-point triple-double. At 38 years old, going on 39. Damn it, I better not have to push through pain next season. I better not have to drag this team to a Western Conference Finals. I better have help. AD better have help. So if you're going to bet on Austin Reeves, you better be betting on Austin Reeves. Not me. You. Rob Pelinka, Los Angeles Lakers, Magic Johnson, Jeannie Buss. Are you sure? That's what I'm putting pressure on you for. But he's probably not retiring. But they are going to look bad if they don't put together that roster for him. Yo, let me know what you think. Holla at me in the comment section. And I'm going to get at y'all next time. Like, subscribe, and I'm going to get at y'all. Peace.